Good afternoon, good evening, buenos dias, buenos noches. If you hadn't noticed, I'm going to bring a little bit of energy because we've been sitting for a while. Is that okay? Oh, come on, y'all got to do better than that. A little bit of energy. So, what I will do is I'll start by saying hello from a couple different angles. It's the reminder that yes, we're here to learn, we're here to connect, and we're here to grow. But this is also about us. It starts with us. It starts with the human being, not just the human doing. So that's what this conversation is about. Is that okay? Y'all got to give it back now. Come on now. We got people online. I've been working on my y'all. All right. I'm from Chicago originally, but I am in Houston now. So that's why I've been working on my y'all. All right. So the conversation that I would love to have with you is why? Why do people still matter in this AI, in this machine driven era? So I want to engage with you on that conversation as we integrate it in the topic of cybersecurity. So, of course, many of you may have seen headlines and the reminder of why we are upskilling, why we're growing, why we're focusing on making sure that if we're the folks who are responsible for cybersecurities or threats or bringing AI into our companies, that we're doing it the right way. Because we don't want to be in the headlines, right? We want to learn and grow from our mistakes. And so I always like to say, how do we meet people where they are? How do I meet you where you are? How do you meet your team, those that you work with, in order to take them to where they want to be? So just kind of keep that in mind with me, okay? I should say that this has been a great conversation. I always say, don't let these red glasses fool you. I went on this path to become a data scientist myself. So I actually love Python. Where's my guy who was talking about he didn't like Python? It's kind of my jam, right? But the reason why I brought this to the conversation is because it's the thought of how do we take what we're already good at, the transferable skills. For my new folks who are learning, who are coming into this industry, how do I take what I'm already good at? I'm analytical, I'm detail oriented, I'm good with people, whatever that is, and bring that into the conversation. Remember, this is a conversation about being more human in this machine driven era. Okay, so how did I do that at scale? What I loved about Kate is she made this introduction and it was the reminder of the journey. Not too long ago, literally almost to the day, a year ago, I stood on stage in front of about 1,000 folks. And I took the journey of going from executive coach, leader, Lean Six Sigma, change management, organizational change, behavioral science, mixing all those things together and putting it into this thing called Shift. And that's where iShiftX was emerged because we created an augmented coaching platform leveraging AI. And not only did we leverage AI, we did it at scale and pitched and won. So my question for you is, in a space and pace where November feels like 10 years ago, how do we make sure that leadership and AI, what do we do to make sure that that happening, the thing that happens when AI and leadership meet, you're in the center and you're not overwhelmed, you're not taken aback, you're not shocked. So that's what we're here to do. And I love that our keynote speaker started talking about guardrails. I'm like, oh my gosh, if AI is the mountain, you are the guardrails. I'm going to say that again. If AI is the mountain, you bring the human boundaries, the ethics, the reminders of being empathetic, the things that AI cannot do. That's what you bring to the conversation. And when we're thinking about creating safety in a safe space, one of our clients is Salesforce and Comcast and Centerpoint Energy and United Way. These are some of our clients, but we start with a slide like this that says, create a safe space. So when we talk about humanness in AI, a part of that is, wait a minute, I've been working on my technical skills all day, but how do I create emotional and psychological safety for my teams? when I am overwhelmed, or when we get hit with an attack or not? What if we're trying to actually respond versus react? How do we create those spaces? So if it's okay with you, I want to tell you a little bit about that. We're at the end of the day, so I promise I won't give you too much to write down, but I would love for you all to engage with me. I'm sorry, I said you all, y'all. Okay? So can everybody put their right hand up for me, please? Come on, hands in the air. And then when I say it's time for a shift, we're gonna buckle up. You ready? Okay, because we're gonna get ready to shift. You're ready with me? Okay, so it's time for a shift. Let's do it together, and we're gonna say shift. Can y'all do that? I want a little engagement. My audience online might be ready for you. They want to hear the shift over the airways. It's time for a shift. All right, this is the right group. All right, let's do it. So shout it out to me. What is the hardest part of trusting AI in cybersecurity? Say it again. You can't verify it. Trust in itself. Attribution. Come on. Technology. It's technology. What else? We don't know how it's working on the inside. What else have we heard today? What have we learned from our mistakes? What else? Biases. What else? Data privacy. Two more from this side. Subjective. Say it again about the subjectivity. Trust is subjective. Oh, I love that. What else? Say it again. Source of truth. And I heard one more voice. Hallucination. All right, so all of these things, and thank you for engaging and sharing, all of these things make it hard. All right, but guess who's responsible for that? You. Exactly. So I promise I won't spend too much time talking about the hard without giving you some of the solutions. Is that okay? Yeah, come on. We talked about this, good people. I know it's the end of the day, but it's time for a what? Shift. Okay, good. All right, we're ready. So my question to you is, in a world where AI can predict, it can quantify, it can do calculations very quickly, it can aggregate, it can, it's all of these things that it can do. Analyze, automate. What is left for you to do? Lead. Oh my goodness, who said that? Come get one of these shift books. This is for prompt engineering, like 101. All right. What's your name, my friend? Jason. Tell us a little bit about, thank you, my friend. What is left for us to do is to lead. Make it safe. Make it safe. What else is left for us to do? Validate. Come on now. Give me two more. Be human and care. Give a damn. Oh, okay, can I say curse words? Is that okay? Give a damn. All right, that's what's left for us to do. And it's not left like leftovers, like what remains. It's what's left for us to do. So when we think about the past versus the future, or what's here now, we think about these oxymorons, these verses, these here was then and here is now, or here's what's becoming. Old leadership, new leadership, siloed. I was working over here in my world, in my department. I know sometimes when I'm coaching CIOs, it's like, hey, you gotta include everyone. Or a product manager, bring other people in. Okay, let's bring your team in. It's not about individual. It is, but it's not, but it is, but it's not. We have to break down these silos. And we've been talking about reactive, right? How do we respond? The reality is that's our roles. That can get stressful. But how do we respond? Command and control. We're not in the Industrial Revolution anymore, right? Been past that. So how do I move to this agile and adaptive leadership and not just say the words? How do I do it? Automated versus what? Human in the loop, right? Yes, we can use AI for all the automations. This morning, I saw okay, this is the right side and then this is the left side. That's where the human in the loop has to be included. And then cold versus caring, giving a damn. So that said, these are things that you all have said. The human element, this is the reality. We have so much to do, so little time. So that human element can often be overlooked in cybersecurity. Why? Because I need to make a decision now. We talked about that earlier today, decision making. And I love the fact that our keynote talked about the OODA loop, because our shift approach literally incorporates and infuse a way of making sure that the decisions that I make also bring that human element in. We can't be disconnected and do things in a bubble. We know this, but how do I do that and not increase my costs? We've been talking about that today too. So that said, there are some things that AI gets right. Would you agree that processing data at scale is one of those things that AI gets right? How many people, raise your hand if you would agree with that? I got about half the room. Okay. All right. Got some, I love that. What about predicting? This is just some baseline stuff. What about predictive analytics? Would you say AI? Yeah, I got some folks, 2, 3, 4, 10, 12. Okay. All right. What about automation? We all, yeah. BFF, I got a BBF now, my best brain friend. That's what I say. All right. Automate some of these tasks. On the other side, this ethical decision making, keeping that human in the loop. And guess who's the human? You. Empathy and relationship building. I always say it's one thing to talk to the person who's on the stage, but what about the person right next to you? What are they doing? How can we learn and shift and grow from some of the things that we're learning from each other? And then thinking about strategic vision and adapting. That's what we must still lead. That's where the shift comes in. Shift is your framework. We've been talking about these frameworks for thinking through leadership in change. When I'm under pressure, how do I lead through change? I love the conversations I've been having today during lunch, during breaks and breakfast. Hey, is it kind of like change management? You're constantly under pressure, time, different projects, different ways of engaging, right? So that change in itself, the reality of the change that you're facing. Okay, so how do you still lead? That connection, that intersectionality is where we work. Okay, so let's speak about it. When we're thinking about data, the S actually stands for speed. And not just the speed to get things done, because we can make mistakes, right? But leveraging, utilizing the data, starting with self-awareness to improve our clarity of decision-making, clarity and effectiveness. Then we're thinking about that human experience. I love that H. I always kind of scratch the surface a little bit more on that H. Developing the resilience. We talked about resilience today with utilities, right? Developing the resilience starting with who? Me. How do I focus on the organization? I have to start with me, building my resilience and my skills. Then innovating how you lead and build what? Trust. Well, Landi, what if I never had to do that? I'm here to focus on this part of my job. What do you mean I need to focus on this too? Well, we know we got to figure this out together. So a part of that, the speed of trust. Do I have any Franklin Covey fans? Just me? Oh, okay, I got 2 or 3. Cool. All right, yes. Trust accelerates everything. That's how we can close the gap, bringing in other thoughts, ideas, and considerations. And then demonstrating flexibility. We know that it takes something to do what you do. But how? You tell me, how can you demonstrate how do you demonstrate flexibility in a space where things are moving so quickly? What are your thoughts? Ask questions. Be open to ideas and change. Thank you. Please. Break down barriers. How? Give me a how. Do you like kick them down? I got on my gym shoes, no. Open up lines of communication between different departments that might otherwise be siloed. Thank you. Who else? Say it again. Prioritize. We got a lot on our plates. Which plate are we juggling? How do we prioritize? Thank you. I heard somebody else. Be proactive. In a space where our work is reactive, how are we proactive? Thinking through these considerations on a daily basis, strengthening those muscles, helps with our resilience. And then lastly, transparency. The reality is, we started with the headlines, right? We don't want to get there. So a part of it is bringing in other pieces of data information, sharing that in real time, tracking what works. I love the last example where, yes, we built this model, we did all these things that cost this much, and then tomorrow it's something else. So sometimes we have to have those hard conversations. That said, at the simplest form, in the shortest amount of time, it's the reminder that shift is not just an idea, it's a mindset. We started this morning with mental, what? Mental models. That's the mindset, not to be overwhelmed, not to deal with the VUCA change. How many of us know about VUCA? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous change. That's the reality of the time that we're in, but how do I do that as the human that I am? And then what you experience here, just in this few minutes, think about it. We pulled in different thoughts and ideas. We had a conversation. We were sitting, thinking. We were focused in this direction. I kind of brought it this direction to talk about you, the individual, not just the team or company or organization you lead, but you. And when we shift, you improve your speed. You prioritize that human experience. You innovate with purpose. Okay, what do I need to do? Let me include the human. You flex, especially under pressure. And then we lead with that transparency. And my question to you is what if you applied this approach in your day-to-day with those that you're working with, in your departments, as you lead, in your teams, as you expand beyond the silos? What if we shifted the way that we think? So, a last question for you. Which one of these, and I'm going to go back, will you commit to improving? Will it be speed, human experience, innovation, flexibility, or the T for transparency? How many folks know about the 1% better every day? Yeah? What's the book? Atomic Habits. 1% better every day. So how many people do I have who can say, you know what, Landi, I can take on that human experience. That's something that, okay, you're developing resilience. Yeah, that's something I can work on. Or transparency. My ask is that you just take one. And when you ask yourself the question, when you're dealing and facing in this AI-driven era, did I lead with AI or did I let AI lead? Let's make shift happen. Thank you. This is a QR code in case you have questions. Again, this was high level, making sure that it's the reminder of the mindset as well as the skill set that is required to shift. I would also ask that we connect on LinkedIn at the what do you call it, least. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I owe somebody a couple more of these Shift Your Response journals, so I have them up here with me. But again, thank you. Questions?